Welcome back, everyone. This is Mighty Scon here with another episode of Feed the Beast Revelation, and we are now on episode 15, as you already know. And today's episode, I would like to go over a few things. So we have a lot of mob drops, and we also have something that I talked about the last episode that I want to definitely get into in this episode, which is the mob slaughter factory. And that will lead us to pink slimes. And pink slimes are what will get us the rest of industrial foregoing stuff. So I'll just put it that way. So we can use this stuff to get our lenses and then also get our stonework factory. So first thing we're going to do is talk about the sword. So I have a new sword, and it is the demonic longsword, and it has the demonic metal. So let's go to look that up in JEI. There's a lot of things you can do with this, especially make the largest drum possible. And this is not it. It is metal ingot. Oh, there it is. It's demon ingot. Okay. And you get this by throwing in a... Well, it doesn't tell you how to get it, but I know how to get it, obviously. So I'll just show you. That's just the best thing to do. And the ingot has one major downside in Tinkers, and that is that the head of this thing is really bad for durability. So let's look up, let's go up to the top and go to tools, and there we go. Nope, that's not it. It is this one. So you start off with 80 durability. So anything that has negative on durability on this side will make this pretty much unusable. So we start off with 80, whereas I think we had Manilian. That thing is 820, so that's a huge difference. So what I typically do, but the attack on this thing is really good. We're at 18.25 attack, and so as soon as I get my next modifier, I will bump it up with sharpness, and we'll have a really nice attack. But I had to use the last modifier for the diamond, and what diamond does is it gives it a flat 500 increase, and it also boosts up attack as well. You get a small boost. I think it was like 1 point to the attack. So with that said, this thing had 220 durability before the diamond, and now it has 720 total durability, which is still kind of low, but it's worth it. The side effect of whispering is it just talks to you every once in a while, which is I guess kind of it's useless for a tool side effect. So let's go get, we have our gold. So you want to get your gold, and I've tested this a little bit in, not a whole lot, but a little bit in the overworld, and there used to be a bug where you could actually do this in the overworld, but that has since been fixed, I think, because I think it's meant to be done in the nether. I replicated one of the I don't know, I guess forges or whatever they call them in the nether fortresses. So you go to another fortress and you find these little things. I guess they're forges, and you can make one yourself right outside your portal, like I did. Make sure you have a block on all sides, so one on the bottom too. And then you just just press Q, and there you go. You get these ingots. The next thing on our list is the mob slaughter factory, and I've already built this, and I've already got the pink slime from it. And I did all that in just so that this episode wouldn't be me fumbling around trying to get a pink slime, which it took me a while to get, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But so we have our things here from the last episode, which are still going. They're still going good. We got a pretty good amount of essence there, and we have our soul shard, which I have been using here. So we have this mob slaughter factory, and all I really did was just run power. So power goes from here and runs back to the power sources here. And this does not use a lot of power at all. But in it, we have these two fluids, which we have liquid meat on one side, and we have pink slime on the other. So I'll just run this and show you. We kill pigs, and I think pigs and any kind of farm animal, it will generate pink slime. I don't think it works on other mobs. I don't think it works on skeletons or anything. Well, maybe you can try that, but I'm pretty sure it only works on animals. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll let it run. I mean, it just kills the pigs. I kind of made it look like a farm, you know. The top's not done yet, but this is pretty much the extent of it. And so you may be asking, like, why do you want pink slime? Well, when you get a bucket of pink slime, which I've already done, and I don't think I have a bucket on me still. No, I don't have a bucket on me still. And you need to have a tank next to it. Maybe this is the tank I used. This one right here. So when they spawn, they'll fill us up to one bucket. And while this is filling up, I'll talk about the liquid meat, which is the next item on the list. Liquid meat feeder. And so really the only purpose for this liquid meat, which I stored some back here just for temporarily, is to fill up your liquid meat feeder. And it's good. I mean, what it does is it automatically liquid meat. Okay, maybe it's just feeder. Yeah, there it is. And all it does is just automatically feeds you whenever you're losing hunger. So it's good if you want to use this. It's not too expensive to make, and it does have a use for this meat. For if you want to just store this stuff somewhere else. Otherwise, you can make this just for the pink slime. And so I'll just let it fill up, and I will come back. Okay, we're back, and I have a little over one bucket. One of the things I had a problem with is trying to get stuff out of this. See, I get the liquid meat, but I don't get the pink slime. I haven't figured out how to get the pink slime out of this container without using a tank with a connected fluid duct. So I'll just run that now, and I have to turn off liquid meat from pumping out of this same one. But let's just run this. There we go. We got our fluid duct. I'm gonna put this back here. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this stuff. I'm probably not gonna do anything with it. I'll just fill it in with dirt or something. But let's get our pink slime. Now I want to preface this with I actually already did this. You want to get a mob imprisonment and tool, and you want to get that because this will only spawn one pink slime, and so you really don't want to go through having to kill a bunch of pigs every time you want to get a pink slime. So I recommend you get a mob imprisonment tool, and then you use that on the pink slime, which I already did here. So here's my pink slime. And then you can throw your pink slime into your mob imprisonment. Your mob duplicator. And that's how you get your pink slime like this. But I will show you the next step, which is to actually spawn the pink slime. Now, when the problem I encountered when I was trying to spawn it is I think I was too close to all these other mobs. Let's go ahead and sleep first. But I think I was too close to all these other mobs because when I tried to spawn it in my little valley here, it was not working at all. I had a hard time doing it. Well, let's grab this. And those are getting done. But so what I had to do is I just had to go out and I tried right here. You can see my little hole right there. That did not work there. This one didn't work here. This one still didn't work. I went all the way out to this crater. Just because I thought something was broken and I wasn't quite sure, so I wanted to eliminate any possibility of mobs causing an issue. And so there's no mobs around me. The nearest thing is a pig, and it's pretty far off. So what I did, I just went in here, and if this thing is like running like this, it was not spawning either. Like it didn't spawn anything doing the running. So what I actually did was I just made a hole, dropped it in, and I actually think it's still not going to work because it's still connecting to this. Let's pick it up and let it finish. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, it spawned. I don't know. It took a second or something. I should probably took like 30 seconds. I have no idea. The only thing I could think of maybe is that it was daytime, so I went into the base and decided to come back here where the meat was and spawn him in this little hole right here. So it could be sunlight. I don't know. But there he is, a little pink slime. You can't do anything to me because I have armor on. So you get your little mob snatcher, and then you capture him. And then when you capture him, you can then use him continuously like this, in which you can just put the pink slimes in there. I was getting ender pearls ready for this episode. Pink slimes, and you get all kinds of you get all different sizes. So you get the small ones, the big ones, which give you tons of pink slime. There you go. So we have no shortage of pink slime now. And now you may be wondering, like, what in the world? Why would you want to do this? Well, like I said before about the industrial foregoing stuff, but the biggest reason really is now they've gated these are pretty cool. The energy field add-ons, which will let you wirelessly get energy from a energy field provider. So that's one benefit. Then you have the lenses, but the real biggest thing right now is the Stonework Factory. So they've now gated this behind a pink slime, which it used to not have a pink slime requirement. But I think it's so powerful that it requires a pink slime. It essentially lets you get things from sand to glass to, you essentially pump in power, and it acts like a igneous extruder where it will create cobblestone. But then you can run it through processes, and I'll get into this in a second in demonstration, but you can run through processes, and then you can smelt stuff, you can break it down even further, so you can get sand, you can get silicone from it. It's just an all-in-one machine that does a lot of material generation for you. So it's no wonder they put it behind a pink slime. So if anything, if you don't want to do the ranged add-ons, which I don't blame you, they're good, but they're not that good. Or if you don't want to do the laser lenses, which go along with the miner, which is laser drill. Okay, so that's it. Laser drill, laser base. So if you don't want to get into this, which this is good, I like this machine. I use it to supplement other machines for endgame. These are good, and these require all these lenses. You specify a lens, and it will get you a specific material. Like I think the cyan one will get you diamonds. So you get a higher chance of getting diamonds from it. And a platinum ore. So I mean, you know, you need pink slime to build these. You need 4. So we have that in place, but I want to get the stonework going as soon as possible because we're trying to get resources coming in passively and without a lot of effort on our part. That's kind of where I like to go with modded Minecraft, is to get a lot of resources coming in. Like right now we have blaze rods coming in. I just need to walk by this area and we get blaze rods. So we now have the pink slime, and we talked about the liquid meat feeder. I won't demonstrate it. You can build it if you want. You just essentially fill up the meat feeder with meat, and there you go. You have food that works. Talked about pink slime. Talked about stoneworks. So now let's. I'm going to build a stoneworks now, and when I have that up and running, I will come back. Okay, so I have everything I need for the stoneworks, and I will make it now. There we go. Get our buckets back, as usual. So let's find a place for this. I think I might put it. Oops. Actually, let's go get some item ducts and some energy. And let's go ahead and I'll drop right here for now. So maybe you'll dig this out. This guy's not getting power. Well, is it behind it? There it is. Okay. Just dug up my 4 for nothing. So I just need to go behind. Let's add this on. And I guess we're going to item ducts in the bottom, which I'm not sure what I want to. I'm going to need to item duct this. Okay. And let's put this back. Let's put this one back here. And that one there. There we go. This does not need anything. Like, it doesn't need any inputs. All it does is do outputs. So right away you get cobblestone. I'll just pause this for a second. Actually, I'll just leave it on. We can pause it here. So right away we get cobblestone. Now, with cobblestone, we can do other things. We can smelt it into stone. We can craft it into nothing, because there's no 2x2 crafting mode for cobblestone. We can grind it up. And so let's just grind it up. And we now get gravel. And of course you can't do much with gravel. You can compress it, but then you can also grind it up again into sand. So we now have sand being created from power. The next step is we can smelt it into glass. We could craft it into sandstone. We can also grind it again, which that might get you silicon. Okay, so which is applied energistics to silicon. So this is a kind of an OP way. I mean, I guess it's not OP anymore because it's gated behind a pink slime, but it's a really good way of getting silicon for applied energistics. And then it doesn't go any further than that. But we can, you can. The cases here are kind of limitless. As far as what cobblestone can generate. So we can do stone. We can do stone blocks. So we can make stone bricks with this. So it's crafted into stone. Then you get 4 of them and stone bricks. I mean, so you can essentially make a lot of stuff, a lot of materials from just power. And the power input's not that bad. 400 RF. So you're generating a block every 400 RF, and it's 40 RF per tick. You can increase it with add-ons down here if you want to speed it up. I think it uses the Tesla add-ons, so Tesla's core library, so you can give it more energy, and you can also do speed upgrades if you wanted to make this thing really fast, really going. But essentially, it's just a cobblestone generator on steroids. What I tend to do is I use this a lot for glass. I think that's just a good all-around use for this. So it goes through the process, making the glass. And so it's just generating the glass, and then when I need glass, I just come over here, and it'll backlog. Once the glass fills up, it'll backlog the next part, and it'll backlog the next part, and then so on and so forth. And so it's just an endless stream of glass. And when I get into applied energistics, it'll be a endless stream of silicon. So great block. That's just a demonstration of its capabilities. You can get creative and test out the different modes on here, and see what you can do with it. I don't think we can go any further with this, though. No. So you just leave it on stopped. That's where it stops, is right there. Alright, so that is the Stonework Factory. The next thing is, Ender chests. Pretty much the Ender suite of items. So there's a mod, it's called Ender, what is it? Ender Storage. Okay. And you get a chest, a pouch, I call it bag, but it's a pouch. And you also get a tank. And this is the best way to transport materials across dimensions, because it interacts with other mods, it interacts with thermal expansion, it interacts with applied energistics, and so you can build these, and I'll show you the recipe for the chest. So it's blaze rods, which we have a ton of, it's obsidian, which we have a pretty good amount of, and then we have chests, we have tons of wood, wool, we have lots of string coming in from the spiders, and ender pearls. So we can make a lot of these, and I will show you a example of what I like to do with my storage systems, especially with fluids, and especially with storing items inside of different places. So what we might do first is start with the ender tank, and then we'll tackle the chest and the pouch, because they are connected. The tank is independent, so the tank requires the similar recipe, only requires iron in the middle instead of the chest, and so wood. I just heard that. Okay, thought I heard a Enderman. So let's make us a fluid system, and what we're going to do is we're going to store essence. And so we're going to eliminate a lot of this piping we ran. A lot of it can be eliminated, and I can also combine essence into both places. So we're going to kind of remodel this a little bit, and then I will make the tanks and kind of demonstrate how they work in a moment. So I will be back when I have the tanks. Okay, we have all the materials for the tanks, and I wanted to point out that you can make this with any color wool. So I will make it with the white wool, but I will show you that you can also make it with brown wool, and of course you can dye the wool any color you want and use that. It's going to want me to, I think you can do any color wool. Maybe that's changed as well. Yeah, you can use any color wool. And as you can see, there's ender tank white, white, white. This one says ender tank brown, brown, brown. And so I usually follow a system with my ender tanks. So I'll demonstrate with the white one because I usually don't use this color, but for now I will. I usually use white and black to differentiate different things. So what do we have a lot of? We have a lot of red dye. If I can find it, let's see. So I'll just say this is red. I'll typically go red, and then we'll have a white one, and then we'll have a black one. Alright, so we have a white one and a black one. And what I normally do, I put these, if I had green dye, I'd probably use green dye for this, but for now I can use red. Put them in my storage area, so let's put them over here against this wall. And I will have the black one's output and the red one is input. So let's see, we're going to need some space for ducts. Alright, so we now have, I'm just going to use a generic drum for now, if I can find one. Maybe a tank. There's one. This is what I usually do. So I usually will pump up liquids, and the orange means output, and the blue is input. So it kind of matches the batteries or the energy cells that we have. So let's make another. We need red, white. Let's make another red. Actually, we can just make that with the one we have. And you can change the colors. Oh, I never made that one. Okay. Let's make 2 more then. It was on dye. I'm just going to make 2 red. Red wool. And let's get our obsidian, cauldrons, and our blaze rods. So now we have red ones. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get a bone meal. Which, do I have bone meal? Yeah. It's in the wrong place, but I do have it. And let's get a black dye. And I can drop these down. So this one will be black. This one will be white. These take a long time to break, so you want to be not floating when you're doing this. They're kind of like obsidian. And now the 2 red blacks are linked, and the 2 red whites are linked. So, just to show you the system that I use, we need fluid. I think I have fluid duct already over here. So we have. Will this work? No. Okay. Let's grab our fluid duct. And I'm just going to pipe this liquid into this container. Well, it's probably over here. Yeah. This thing always picks up stuff around here. Alright, so let's get this going. And turn it on. And there we go. So this is piping in here. So red, white is getting piped into. Now let me show you the other side. What I typically do is I have an input. So this is an input. And then I typically have an output one. So I usually use red for canola I usually use green for essence. But essentially, I always like to have a input, and so this will be storage for liquids. And of course, you can use any storage. You can expand this. Let's say you have like a lot of fluid coming in. You can just expand this out and then add, even more conduits along the wall. And so, I mean, you never want to. The system should be just to where you just expand it out and don't really do anything with it. What you do want to do is pipe things into this. And then you can use this as a proxy. So this will be a proxy for the storage system here. This will be a proxy. So you do need to actually pump stuff out of the drum, which I don't think I have a server on me, so let's grab one. Alright. And there we go. This is filling up. We now have our connected drum here. So when this thing fills up, this thing will fill up the same amount. And now anything that uses liquids, essence, like when we set up our enchanting, that'll use liquid essence. So I'll use this red, black, which I will change over in the future, to green, black. This red, black one right now will pump out. I'll put one of those for the enchanter, and I'll put one of those probably for the mob duplicator. And so that's typically how I do my inputs. So inputs are usually white, outputs are usually black, and then I color code with the liquids that I'm dealing with. So we can just dig down here, and really all I need to do is just this, and I now have a way to pump liquids. This will be output, yeah. So now this will be pumping directly into this. So you don't have to deal with that piping anymore. I just need to have power being piped over here. But there is another way to solve that too. So eventually, this will only be feeding from just like 2 pipes. Will only feed this 1 block. And then so you have the wireless system here of transporting liquids. And this is also why I like to use liquids for power generation. So the tree oil, I set up the tree oil again, and it's outside, and let's say this site. Oops. And so and also the essence does generate light, so you don't want to have it clear blocks around it, or it will stop mobs from spawning. Tree oil is another thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing for tree oil. I will have my tree oil system set up just like this one. I'll have an input, a drum, and an output. So you'll have a backlog of storage, and the tree oil will be processed down here as well. And then I'll have my tree, which still hasn't grown yet. I think I need to have this block removed. It's got like a setting where it doesn't grow near certain blocks. But I want to demonstrate the trees as well. So what I might do is, okay. What I'm going to do is actually I'm going to go ahead and get the tree oil one set up as well, because I do want you to see how this thing is beneficial right away. And I think you see the conceptual side of things, and it's beneficial for a lot of different areas. But having a fluid storage system like that, I know it's kind of archaic because you could do a lot of fluid storage with applied energistics, but some people can't get an applied energistics for a while. And so this system, as soon as you have mobs spawning like I do now, you can essentially get this system going with no effort and have a wall lined up with fluid storage. And we could have a drum here where this is piping. That's not it, sorry, it's the where's that? Oh, right here. So instead of this tank, we can have a drum there, so we have liquids being piped. Oh, I have stuff in my inventory. Since we have stuff being piped directly into that, so we'll have one of our tanks here, and we'll have the storage for that, feeding into the same one as the tree over there. So I mean, I think you see where I'm going with this. It's a good system to have, and it's very simple in nature, and it's expandable. I mean, you could expand this out. You can get the gargantuan drums, and this system with, I know I say this a lot, but no power required. No power required to run the system. It runs on its own. Applied energistics requires power. So if you're not into things with power, or if you don't have power generation going, like I don't have it going yet, this is very simple. So I recommend this as a early game, I would say mid-game solution. So we're kind of in the mid-game right now where we need the mob drops to get it going. Alright, so I'll set up another one and then just show you. I won't talk about it like I just did, but I'll just show it to you, and then we'll move on to the the chest and the bags. Okay, and I'm back, and I wanted to show you something. I made a Alchemy Catalyst, and the reason why I did this is because I actually need brown dye, and I have not found a jungle. I mean, yet I haven't gone to a jungle yet. I know where they are with the compass, but I don't have one yet. So since I made this this thing, which is just living rock and then brewing stands and mana pearl, so easily things we already have. And the reason why I did this is because you can convert a birch sapling into a jungle sapling. You can convert pumpkin seeds into cocoa beans, and cocoa beans you can use as brown dye. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay, I'm back, and I have this set up here. So we have our input, which is the white, and of course you can set up any system you'd like. This is going to output into this container, and if we go back to here, I've already set one up here. So there you go. You can see it from here. And I do want to stress that make sure you don't put like hot fluids in the normal fluid ducts. You want to use the hardened ones. And I typically use hardened ones for this system all the time, regardless of whether I think the fluid is hot or cold, because things can change, and next thing you know, something's broken. So I just recommend using the hardened ones. I'm going to make some more servos. I found this just electrum ones are just really easy to make. So I now have 3, and we can put our tank or our drum, whichever one you choose to make. And there we go. Now I have inputs. And the other thing with this is we can now input this resin as well. So I will make this tank white as well. So let me go get another bone meal, and then I can make this white. And there we go. And actually, you know what we should do? Let's take this tank and dump it out. There we go. Just dump it out in here. It'll fill up below, and when this is done, I will come back. Okay, so this is done, and let's put this back in here. Now whenever we run some wood, we will have another source of getting, is this going to work? Let's see. Input, output, output. Okay, yeah. We'll have another source of, what's it not? Auto? Oh, there we go. Resin. Okay, we have another source of resin. So there we go. So we now have a pretty good way of getting this resin. We have two sources. We have one here, one over there. This drum should gradually fill up, and we'll actually use this for power, which will probably, we've got 70 buckets right now. So this will be good, and then we'll be able to convert it with our output source into power, and then we'll have a continuous flow of power coming through there. And so I did build the ender chest, and the ender chest recipe is very similar, like I showed you this already. So let us get the pouch. Pouch. So this requires the blaze powder. I just made them all white for demonstration purposes. This requires some leather. I think I'll just grab that much. Okay. And essentially what you do is you can drop the chest down, and they're all linked, just like this one. They're all linked, same colors, all linked. They all open in order, and if you open up the pouch, they all open in order too. So I have my wrench in there, and it's in the chest. I like to use pouches to store stuff as well, kind of like this. But I will feed things back into the chests. And I guess a good example is if I am building something, I will have something being auto-fed into a chest, like let's say stone. So I'm trying to build with stone. I'll have it auto-feed into a chest, and I'll just use my pouch to get stuff out of it as I'm building things. So things like that. So it's kind of similar to this. If I have a lot of one item, like if I have a lot of cobblestone, and I'm going to use a lot of cobblestone, and I'll do something like this, and just have a really upgraded version of the drawer over here, and then it's feeding it back into an output chest, and then I'll have my pouch the same color. And so the pouches are pretty neat because I will make this a different color. Let's make let's make one of these black. So we have output, input, input, and then I'll just do this as well. And so if you ever wanted to, like, let's say you're trying to switch back between different things, you can actually just shift click, and now you see my ender pouch turn into white, white, black. Then you shift click on another one, and it goes to that color, so white, white, white. So you can have like a line of drawers, and depending on what building material, like my example earlier, you can just shift click, and you can pick that material, and that will then fill up your pouch with stuff. And so, and of course, these things, if I'm mining, I'll link up to my inputs, and I will then just feed all my stuff into my mining bag, and those will all be coming back here. As long as my chunks are loaded, they'll all be processing the mining. And so that is the chests, and that's the let me actually add one more thing to that. So I'll need to do that later. But yeah, so we have a pretty good amount of stuff coming in here. And now we have a way just to automate transportation of fluids. So instead of running pipes everywhere, like this right here, I'm just going to put a white chest here for input, and it'll just feed into this wall. Okay, back to the notes. So we have everything. The last thing I want to talk about is elevators. This will be really fast. This is another one of those utility blocks that you can make once you have a good amount of mob resources coming in. So I'll make 3 for now, and I'm going to need some more string. Which, do I have any more string? So I'll just talk about the elevator blocks while I think about how I'm going to get the string. So there's different kind of elevators. There's a Duct elevator. There's an elevator from RF Tools, and there's these elevator blocks. These are multi-block elevators. These Duct is a multi-block, and RF Tools is a multi-block. The elevator blocks here from Elevator Mod are single blocks. So I can make a single block and actually have brown. So it's going to require a lot of brown. So is there a better way to make this besides just, oh, okay, so I can put a bunch of blocks in there and change the color. That makes it better. So I have my brown. I'm going to use brown because up there is mostly brown on the floor. Where's my crocus? There we go. I'm not going to have enough. I'll just do 2 for now. Okay, so in order to make the elevators, you just do this, and you put ender pearls in the middle. There we go, 2 elevator blocks. So let's go find a good place to put this up here, and then we will go down. I'm thinking like right here, kind of like in the center. So let's just do this. Dig down. This goes here, and then we'll go down here and put our elevator block right there. And really, all you gotta do is just hit spacebar, and you on that floor. So instead of me having to run down to this corner, which I will fill in, I can now just go right here and hit shift to crouch down, and you go down, hit space, you go up. And that is elevators for you. So it looks like we've hit all the notes, and I think this is going to be a long episode. I'll have to try to cut some things down. For now, that is it. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you learned something. Thank you, and bye.